Just before the video starts, just wanted to let you know that I already have about all of these trophies. I beat them around 3 years ago. So our story begins with this lady, Mia, and she is giving this message to her husband that she's babysitting and everything's going well. But then she follows with this backup message that she tells him to stay away.
If you get this, stay away.
But the thing is, Ethan never receives this message. So he still carries on and he has to find her. And so he's on the phone with his friend and he's like, yo, my wife just came back, dude. After so many years of not talking to her, and she's just back. So now Ethan is pulling up to where his wife is suspected to be. We get out and we kind of realize that wherever the hell we are, I mean, this is already like a strange forest looking area. So we end up walking through this little forest, and there's actually a house. So we go up, blow, ring the doorbell thingy, and we realize that it doesn't work. So we actually find a way around the house. We realize that this actually starts to look creepy, and as I was going through here, I see this random dude just walking through the forest, and I'm like, oh hell no. So we end up going through the backyard, and we see this thing of smoke, and we actually find this bag that contains Mia's driver's license. So this does confirm that she is here. We make our way inside of the house, and I actually realized that we're now locked in here. And I already started wanting to stop playing the game right here. I won't lie, I was pretty scared even just loading this game up. We go into the kitchen, and we're hearing some sounds, and I just, I start realizing that this place is nasty. I mean, ugh, who wants to eat that? Shit's nasty. Going around the kitchen, and I was like, I have to look in the refrigerator. And Lord behold, it's even nastier than ever. Looking around the house, and I'm trying to look for clues for Mia, and I swear every single time that I walk through this part, I was just thinking something's going to jump out at me. It's way too quiet in this house, and I don't know what is going on. I eventually make my way upstairs, and I see that there's a stairs button, but I can't use it, so I'm like, alright, gotta turn the power on. I eventually find this tape, and I have no clue what this tape is going to do, but there's magically a powered TV tape VHS thing, and I'm like, okay, you know what, let's do this. So in these tapes, you actually play as, like, characters. So we're playing as a cameraman for, these dudes that run a show, and pretty much they visit, like, abandoned areas. Now, at the start, he's like, oh, I'm not feeling you, I don't like you. Then the other dude goes missing, and he's like, oh, no, you're a good cameraman, Clancy, and I don't know, bro's just too scared. So we end up going in here, and we're trying to look for the missing guy. The guy that we just saw a couple minutes ago. He ends up finding this little, like, pulley, like, lever thing, and it ends up actually opening up a secret door. So I go down to the basement, and long story short, I find this dude just dead. Like, bro's bleeding all over the mouth, and then this dude walks up to me, and I'm assuming I die because they're screaming. Now, we go up into the basement using that same area, and Lord behold, you wouldn't believe who I find. Mia. If you have ever played a Resident Evil game, the one thing that you would know is that one of the most key components is bolt cutters. Bolt cutters are just like, I believe they're in every game. I would assume, because every game that I've played, there's bolt cutters. And yeah, one thing that I thought was honestly so hilarious is if you look at Mia's feet, tell me why her feet are that long, bro. Like, her feet do not need to be that long.
Mia, oh, thank God I found you. It's me. It's Ethan.
Ethan?
You contacted me.
No, I wouldn't.
So Mia ends up waking up,
We need
and
to go.
she's telling us that we need to
to go
leave
now.
because a person named Daddy might have seen us. Now, she goes evil and starts attacking us. Now, I did cut part of this out, but long story short, she stabs me a million times with a knife, and my hands get really bloody. And now she starts going extra cuckoo.
I can hear her. I can feel her clawing her way back inside of me.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Get out!
We're kind of learning that she's a little crazy, and clearly something's going on with her. I'm starting to think she's possessed, to be honest with you, because some ghost or something. Because other Resident Evils have viruses, I didn't know what this was, though, to be honest. And, yeah. We end up actually throwing, or she throws me through the wall. And now I gotta fight her. And trust me, this was not fun. I ended up dying like 3 times. Cut up from that, and long story short, now we're getting our hand cut off because someone was like, oh, we should give me a chainsaw. We go up into the attic, and now we gotta fight her, and she's still charging me with this chainsaw. I actually had just enough headshots in order to put her down. So she's saying that everyone's relying on her, and I really don't know what that means right now. We start wandering around, and next thing you know, this dude just comes up and fucking smacks me. Doink! Out for the count. And I thought that this was funny. The boxes just start glitching around the room. And then this is where we learn we're getting dragged to the house. And this is actually where we meet the family. Dude in the middle, that's Daddy Jack. Woman on the right, that is the wife. That is the mother, Marguerite. And then on the left, we have Lucas. So yeah, he's wanted me to, you know, eat some human body parts, which is pretty fucking nasty. She ends up crashing out, and he's about to, you know, cut me up with a knife, and they all walk out of the room. And Granny's still there. You didn't see Granny at the start, but that's Granny. She's pretty cool. She's honestly one of my favorite characters. She just teleports everywhere. After we get up out of our chair, Jack starts to chase us around everywhere, and we have to figure out a way to escape. So we end up going down this hall, and we end up actually finding a key. This key is for a hatch, and it honestly took me a minute to find it, but the hatches actually end up being in the floor of, like, I wouldn't really know what to call that room. I'd say, like, a storage room. I don't really know, but we end up coming to this room, and this is where we meet Zoe for the first time.
Shut up and listen if you want to stay alive.
So, you know, she's pretty fun. Then we end up meeting a cop, and cop is as useless as any cop in, like, a horror movie, horror video game, anything. You know, we ask him for his gun. I assume, you know, I understand why it's crazy, but he gives us a pocket knife. He told us to meet into the garage, and so that's exactly what we do. We cut up the little panel, and then press a button, and boom, we're in the garage.
We gotta get the fuck out of here.
And he ends up meeting his fate, which is pretty gruesome. So I blurred that out just for YouTube purposes, but Jack is now wanting to kill us again. And so we take his keys and then we get into his car. We end up starting the car, failed a couple of times, but we end up starting it. And now we gotta actually run over Jack, which honestly was really fun. Run his ass over a couple of times. And so Jack ends up getting on the car. I actually really don't know how. But he's like, oh yeah, he gonna take me for a ride. And yeah. Started, I was thinking, oh yeah, Jack for sure has to be dead. Deadly blow like that, just, you know, that would definitely kill you. So, you know, I'm thinking Jack is dead, but of course not. Gotta give him a little pow, pow, pow. Bro's out for the count now. There ain't no way bro's dead. Or, well, not dead after this. So Jack is officially dead now, so we don't gotta, you know, deal with him anymore. So we end up getting the key for the first little door thingy that we gotta open up. And so this takes us into an extended part of the house. Now we get another phone call with Zoe, and she is pretty much gonna explain to us that we need to escape the house, and in order to do that, we have to find 3 different little keys that go around the house. So first one we get is in this clock. Then we gotta go upstairs, and we actually run into Grandma, which I thought was a little spooky, because I'm like, how does Grandma get up the stairs in her wheelchair? Like, she's gotta have some magical powers or something. We go and do a tape, and in this tape, we actually play as Mia. Mia is now trying to escape as, from Marguerite. So we run through the house, and I run into her like a stupid person. I gotta try this again. And then, so we get these little shape thingies. These we find throughout the game. And they open up secret doors when you match them. And little, boom.
Where do you think you're going?
So we end up trying our best to run away, but, you know, Mia gets captured like 24/7. Because that's literally all she does as a character. I'm sorry, but that was the no. We end up getting our first trophy here for the video, and it is Can't Catch Me. You get this by completing Mia's videotape without being spotted by Marguerite. I did this completely accidental. So we're back upstairs after we do the tape, and we start draining this bathtub, and we get our first little statue. And, of course, shocker, we run into Jack again. So after running from Jack, we eventually use that little wooden piece we got, and we gotta do another shape, but this time of an eagle. This takes us into another little back area, which takes us to our first goober guy. That's what I like to call them. They're made out of like this black gooey stuff, kind of like ink, and so I just call them goob guys. Also, I know the audio is a little bit messed up here. I tried my best to fix it, but just gonna have to make do. We go through the basement, and these dudes come around any corner, I swear. End up having to do a little puzzle here. It took me a little bit to figure it out, but you pretty much just have to open up like the morgues a little bit, and eventually you'll open up this one. This one is one of the big guys. These guys you don't run into that much throughout the game, but you do every so often. They take a little while to kill, so I just sped this up for you. So now he's down, and then we get the dissection key. From that same room, we get the scorpion key. So then now we go and we find the second little dog head piece, but then Jack actually takes it, and I'm like, bruh. Yeah, and so Jack, for some reason, was like, oh, we're going to take the cop's body and just put it down there in the basement. Yeah, that's fun. End up finding the dog head, but of course, like any other Resident Evil with grabbing key items, we now got to do a boss fight. Yippee. We now got a 1v1 Jack in the basement, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have enough space for the chainsaw, but then I made some like mid-fight, and I completely forgot that the chainsaw even like existed. So the entire time, I'm over here just shooting Jack, and then I start just whacking him. Then we get our next trophy, Duck If You Love Life. This one you get for just crouching and dodging Jack's scissor attack, where he like will run at you with them. So now, I start hitting him with the knife, and honestly, I still really do not understand how I forgot the knife, because I don't even know how long this took. I think this was like 15, like 20 minutes. Something like that. So now, after hitting Jack over a gazillion times with the knife, we eventually get him low, and he'll like kind of sit on the floor, and this like big spore thing pops out, and then we gotta hit that. And you do have to actually use the chainsaw to kill him, and I did not use this until the end of the fight. Now after Jack, we get out of there and we go to the RV. The RV is our main safe spot, and we actually go to our next phone call. Now Zoe is trying to be like, oh, okay, we're all infected, you know, all of them, and I can make a serum to heal them. And I have to go to the old house now to go and make that serum. So now once we're in the old house, I hated this so much because they're bugs. I just get really weirded out when there's bugs in like scary games, because just, oh my god. We run into Marguerite, and she's just telling us to stay out, and she constantly will put like spiders all over the door. We go and get different keys, and we gotta collect different parts to actually explore the house. I know that I'm able to run past her because I ran into her several times. And no, this part scared me so bad. Now we gotta do this. This is like a little mini boss fight where we fall through the floor, and we end up having to shoot Marguerite like a bunch of times. Once you shoot her enough, she will eventually fall. If you're wondering why I have the saw on this gun, this is footage from my hardcore run that I had to do, or Madhouse. My audio's got like messed up, so I had to like intertwine them, but don't worry, we're still seeing the main story. Now we go in here, and we find this weird little, like, body thingy. And once we open it up, we realize that this is part of the serum that we're actually going to use. Now we gotta run towards Margaret, and this is after finding her because we have to get her lantern in order to open up the door for the first part of the serum. We go into the other part of the house, or other house, and then we gotta fight her. And I'm being so honest with you, whoever came up with the design of her, they know how to make creepy. I ended up using the saw on her, and then I stunned her, I don't know, like a million times. And she ends up dying a little bit here. Just got a lighter on fire, and I swear to you, she teleports like everywhere. Constantly biting me. I died so many times, and I just honestly just couldn't even like do this, bro. Oh, she's almost dead here. I really thought I was honestly gonna die again, but she ends up dying. And turn. Now we can go all the way back to the other house. We go through like this child's bedroom, and we end up pulling the arm off of this body. That is the first part of our serum. Zoe calls me again, and she's like, oh, okay, can't believe you got it. And so now we gotta go back to the RV, and she's like, oh, I'll update you. We go back to the RV, and now she is pretty much not there, and Lucas is now here, and he's telling me, oh, I kidnapped your wife, I kidnapped Zoe, and I have the part of the serum, and you're not getting it, pal, unless you do what I say. Now we gotta collect 2 different key cards in order to open up his area. We match this little thing, another one of the shapes, and it is like a dude holding an axe about to like cut someone's head off. Pretty creepy. That gets us our first key card, which is the blue key card. Okay, so I'm gonna have 2 heals. I feel like 2 heals is enough. Unless I have more. Once we have collected this key card, we are gonna use our key that we got, which is the snake key. And we're gonna go up into Grandma's bedroom. I don't know how Grandma is in a locked room. I really wish I could, explain that to you. But we're getting more storage space, just getting a couple of collectibles, and now we're going to be on our way. Now we got to realize what time the clocks are. All of the clocks are 3:15, or no, 10:15. And we go down into this little part of the basement, which was a locked room, and then we get the red key card. Now we go up to Lucas's area, and we have to put in the key cards accordingly. I felt like that would have been obvious to me, but I just for some reason was like, oh, I'll put in any of them. Usually other Resident Evil games don't have like a specific order you put stuff in. So now we got to talk to Lucas, and Lucas is, being a bit crazy. He's like, oh my god, I have your head, or the head that you need for the serum. And I'm gonna rip off my my fingernails, and you're crazy. Anyway, bye, Ethan. I'm a little stupid.
Put bug spray.
Now we gotta go through Lucas's part. Lucas's part is trapped with a lot of bombs, and I kind of realized this at first, that the burners are really great. Now we gotta battle these big fat dudes. I died, I don't know how many times right here in these parts. I died over and over again, trying different strategies, and I could not kill them for the life of me. Trying just anything to just get back at these guys. I used steroids, I used the stamina thingies, and eventually I did do it. I killed both. I have to tell you, that was like one of the greatest feelings. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, no. Coin's just... We hit the button, and we go up on our way, and so now we got to type in the code, which is 1408. But then we have to get rid of everything in our inventory, and now we are in Lucas's little maze thing. I still love him. Pretty much what you do right here is we have to play like a little mini game of, it involves getting like a, I forget what they're called, stylocopes. I forget what they're called, but we end up typing in this code, shutting off the water, and after dying like a good 10 times, I figured out how we do this part. Once you shut off the water, you gotta go and light the candle, and then we're good. And I think, oh yeah, I'm fine. Nothing's gonna happen. And, yeah, boom, dead. We go there, and now we find the second part of the serum, which is actually really big. We go through another part of the house, and we end up finding Mia, and we end up finding Zoe, but they're both tied up. And we get Mia free, and she's like, oh my god! And then, Zoe is still sassy as ever, and I'm giving her the stuff to make the serum. She makes the serum, I take both of them, now we're good. And just when you would least expect it, now Jack is coming to ruin the party. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I did not know this was Jack at first. I had to kind of realize what he was saying, and I'm like, oh, this is Jack. I used my saw, and you pretty much have to go and cut open all of his eyes, and once you like burst all of his eyes open, you get to this part where you have to constantly move side to side and shoot him, and then he's dead. So now, once we shoot him for the millionth time using I don't know how much ammo, we're good. Yeah, no, we're not, I lied. So now Jack is pretty much grabbing us, about to kill us, and then Zoe's like, oh, use the serum on him. So I'm like, oh, okay. So we use the serum on him, and Bro starts to hit like he just got hit with the boogie bomb. Bro's emoting a little, and now he's actually dead. They all crystallize and break into a million pieces when they're dead. And now Zoe's like, oh, we're good to go. I go out to both of them and I tell them, oh, I only have one serum, but you already know who I'm choosing. Of course I'm gonna choose Mia. That's my wife. I don't know who the hell Zoe even is. And so this part, we get another trophy, which is escaping from the Baker family home. You better start running. And Mia's like, oh, boo-hoo, why did you choose me? You shouldn't have done that. And just as we're about to leave, of course, something happens and we have to stay. Now, after we get kidnapped, or not kidnapped, after we go into the ink, we now play as Mia. And we find Ethan, and his body gets kidnapped by the goo. Which, honestly, I feel like that animation right there is pretty cool. I won't lie. I always think the goo looks cool, but I don't know. It's just always a little weird. We start going through Mia's point of view of the ship that she was actually babysitting on, and we start having flashbacks and memories of what the ship used to be like and kind of like what was happening during this time. We realize that there's this little girl on the ship, and she's actually killing people and turning them into goo, which is really creepy. So, this is Evelyn, and she, just for some reason is like, oh, I can turn you into goo, I'm gonna kill you. And so she's constantly asking Mia if we remember. And we have no clue what in the world she's talking about. So we start following her through the ship, and she's constantly like, oh, do you remember? No, I don't remember shit, man. And she's like, you said, and blah, blah, blah. So now she makes us go through another tape where we actually get another trophy. Be kind, please rewind. We have to watch all the videotapes to get that one. So now we meet this guy named Alan. This is actually the guy we were working with on this babysitting trip, but it was actually never a babysitting trip. She is part of this organization that was working on Evelyn in order to like give her powers and stuff. Just that's just what I'm learning from it. We chase Evelyn throughout the ship and we're trying our best to find her. We constantly chase her with like a tracker on our watch. And we find Alan. Alan, though, this time is not looking too great, and he accidentally calls Evie a little bitch. And, she's like, I don't like that. So Alan goes, and then Bro starts dying. So that pretty much solves up that part. Once we get out of the tape, we realize that Mia actually said more in the tape to her at the start, but Ethan never got it. So this is where we go through here and we find Ethan. But of course, Evie is guarding him. We get past her, go up, and then we actually start realizing that we're talking to Jackie Poo here. But we realize that Jackie Poo and his entire family were actually normal people. They found Evelyn on the side of the road, and Evelyn actually started infecting their entire family, and she can take control of your entire body. So they were actually never bad people. Once we get out of that, she starts getting infected, even though we put the serum in her, and that's where we escape. This is actually where we get another trophy. This trophy, the one that we get, is Into the Depths. This one you get for escaping the ship. So now we go onto, yet again, another elevator. God, I hate elevators, I'm going to be honest with you. Just the amount that you got to go through. We go up and we actually go into a mine. Now, this mine is filled with a lot of the goo monsters and just so many different things that we got to start dealing with. And it was so annoying. The traps, the goo monsters, everything. Once we get through them, we find another part of the serum. But this time, we gotta pretty much put it in there. And then once we get everything in there, it extracts it from that body. And this is now something that we are able to kill Evelyn with. So we start chasing Evelyn once again, and we see her pop up throughout different parts of the cave. So we're like, oh, okay, we know that, she's close by. Then we break down this door, and I was like, what the hell? We're back in the house. So after we go back in the house, we start having flashbacks, but then we realize these are previous parts of the game. But we see that the entire time, Evelyn was controlling them. Mia, Jack, Zoe, Marguerite, and Lucas, they never wanted to hurt me, but they were being controlled by this girl that just wants a family. So she's like, oh, you're going to play nicely. And then I'm like, no. I'm not playing, buddy. And then she's like, no. I don't want to. So we go up into the attic, and then she starts doing, like, some Kamehameha, like, Dragon Ball shit. And she starts throwing me across the room. And I'm like, oh, okay. Then I realize I gotta block every single time that she does that. I run up to her, and I'm like, hocus pocus, your pizza is on a focus. And once the serum is actually in her, we realize that the entire time Evelyn was grandma. Which I did not expect, to be honest. I feel like it was kind of obvious to expect that, but I just didn't towards the end of the game. She starts turning into this... I don't even know what the hell to call that thing. She just turns into this giant face thing. And next thing you know, we're fighting her. And, these helicopters are coming, so shit is about to go down. She starts coming up out of the house, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to run around and start doing a boss battle. No, I just lay on the ground and shoot her, which I think was an interesting boss fight. I won't lie. I just felt like I could have been able to run around more. This dude calls me, and he's like, oh, use it. And I know that voice. That's Chrissy Poo. I love Chris. He's one of my favorite characters. We get this gun, and this gun is filled with chemical bullets that end up actually killing Evelyn. And I did not know that you can actually just shoot her whenever you want. I was waiting until she would show her face to shoot her, but I didn't realize that. So now Evelyn is dead, and we are officially done with our first playthrough of Resident Evil 7. So we end up getting our next trophies here. We get Playing It Safe. This one is for completing the game on easy. We get End of Night. This one is for getting the first ending. And there we go. We are done with the first playthrough. Now all that is left is us getting the bonus trophies. Now these bonus trophies require us to beat the game another 2 times, and we have to do a lot of miscellaneous stuff as we beat them. Let's get to it, guys. Cute little moment here. We're escaping, and we're on to live and see another happy day.
They say that when one door closes, another opens.
Alright, chat. Now we're on to getting these bonus trophies. Now this first one that we're getting is called a spicy meatball. And we do this one by putting a bomb in one of their mouths and then go kaboom! That's a spicy meatball. Kill an enemy by attaching a remote bomb on them. So now this next trophy that we get is we have to go back to Marguerite, and we give her a little bit of a visit, and now we actually gotta fight her, but normally, not like an actual boss fight. We keep shooting her, and then she's gonna grab us, and this is where we get our next trophy. Back off, Mrs. B. We get this one by fighting her off as she wanders the old house. Next is another Marguerite trophy. This one we get by when she leaps at us, we have to shoot her. I missed this a good 30 times, I'd say, and it took me a good amount of tries, but we get it right here. Mid-air, you have to shoot her. There we go. Next trophy, Fly Swatter. Shoot and knock back Marguerite while she's leaping at you. Now we have to go into our next tape, and we have to play Happy Birthday. This one I did play, but the reason why we have to go back to it is we have to beat this trophy, or this mini game, within 5 minutes. It honestly was not that hard, so I just sped it up because I already knew what I was doing since I've beaten it before. So we turn off the water, light the candle, and then we put it in the birthday cake. And then we get our next trophy out before dessert. Complete the happy birthday videotape within 5 minutes. So now we beat the game once again. I was not going to show me beating the entire game again because this video would be well over 1,000,000 years long. So we kill Evelyn once again, and we go on to our next trophy. This time, we get this trophy, Just Get Me Out of Here, and we get this for completing the game within 4 hours, so a little bit of a speed run. We get our next trophy, The Nightmare's Finally Over, complete the game on normal. Just a Memory Now is our next trophy, which is getting the second ending, and just like that, we are done. Now, this next trophy that we are getting is for collecting all of the antique coins normally. So, Pelicans in Your Pocket is number 30. Obtain all antique coins in easy or normal mode. This next trophy that we're getting required us to go all the way through the game again, and this one we actually get for obtaining all the files. Devil in the Details. Read all of the files in a single playthrough. This next trophy that we're getting honestly took me a little bit. This one, you had to actually destroy all the Mr. Everywheres. So Mr. Nowhere, destroy all Mr. Everywhere statuettes. Now, we're back to the coins. This took me, I don't know how many hours looking for the coins until I had to go up on YouTube of like where they all are. But we end up getting the last coin, but this one we had to do on Madhouse. So Mad Pelicans, obtain all antique coins on Madhouse difficulty.
Yay.
So we're almost done here, guys.
The game on Madhouse.
So we had to beat the game yet again. I'm so over this game already, but we got Who's Your Daddy Now? Complete the game on Madhouse difficulty.
Yeah, I really did not like that. Should be a
Next trophy that we're getting up here is called
hell yeah.
Science Fair. This one we get by all 8 of those things that you can craft.
Oh, I got
You have to
it.
craft all of them. First place at the Science Fair. Create all items that contain chem fluid and strong chem fluid. That was one of the hardest trophies. Now we are on to the finale, and honestly, I was so excited to be here. I show the entire boss fight one more time because this is the final time that we do this. So as we come up to the end of the video, fighting Evelyn one more time, and it honestly was a lot easier than what I thought it would be. I think I only died about twice, but I showed as much of the footage as I can. Just got a fighter, and I'm gonna let it play out for you guys. Helicopters are appearing again. Alright, come on, we got this. You know, watching this back, it looks so funny, sped up. Oh no, we're up in the air. Oh, and we're falling again, chat. We're falling. Yippee. So the replica that I actually have throughout the game, it doesn't have the chemicals in it. Otherwise it would kill everything so quick, but here we go. I'll let the rest of this play out for you guys. This was such a reliever to get to this part, like you do not understand. So now, we get our next trophy, Resource Manager. Complete the game, then pretty much opening it 3 times. Then we had to beat the game without healing 3 times, and then we get the Platinum Trophy. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. It took me a while to make, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!